Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is your friendly host Raj here, and today I'm going to talk about the Q1 earnings release from CRISPR Therapeutics. Let's get started. Welcome back, friends. More than financials, I want to look at the Casgevy numbers. So I'll first start with Casgevy numbers. In my opinion, Casgevy is a big deal in the world of treating sickle cell disease and TDT. So it's got approvals in quite a few places: the US, Great Britain, European Union, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Kingdom of Bahrain, and they are even in the process of getting the thumbs up in Switzerland and Canada, with Canada giving them priority review, which makes Casgevy stand out as the first therapy to come out of a partnership between CRISPR Therapeutics and Vertex Pharmaceutical, which almost started way back in 2015. So this is the culmination of all those things. And just last year, Vertex took the lead in handling everything from development to commercialization, with CRISPR Therapeutics lending their support. As of April, they have got over 25 authorized treatment centers up and running worldwide, covering all the places where Casgevy is approved. And they've already started collecting cells from patients, which is a big step forward. If I look at Vertex earnings to find some clues, I find that Vertex isn't messing around when it comes to making sure people can actually get access to Casgevy. They have made deals with the health insurance providers in the US, and they also sorted out reimbursed access for eligible folks in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Bahrain for both sickle cell as well as TDT. And even in France, through a special program, they have arrangements. And they have a statement that says positive pricing and reimbursement discussions for Casgevy in the Middle East. And that, to me, my friends, is bullish, because that's what I was searching for in the CRISPR Therapeutic report, along with the number of patients for whom cells have been collected. But this information could not be found in the CRISPR Therapeutics Q1 report. So if any of you have found this information in CRISPR report, just put it in the comment so I can go and check where I missed it out. So though this review is for CRISPR earnings, I had to dig into Vertex to a good extent for meaningful information to determine the future of Casgevy. It seems Vertex has acquired a company called Alpine Immune Sciences recently, and among other reasons of this acquisition, it seems Vertex believes that Alpine will add protein engineering and immunotherapy expertise to Vertex. And that will help them develop a gentler conditioning for not only Casgevy, but also immune evasion for type 1 diabetes cell. In my opinion, this is very significant for CRISPR Therapeutics, because Casgevy will benefit from this, and that will help CRISPR Therapeutics. But where it gets competitive is when it comes to the CTX211 or diabetes therapy by CRISPR Therapeutics, in which they had a breakup with Vertex and also with ViaCyte, which went on its own ways. So if Vertex comes up with its own diabetes therapy, and it has got a gentler conditioning, I think it will put CRISPR Therapeutics at a disadvantage. Then they may have to probably buy rights to the conditioner if CRISPR's own efforts do not bear fruit. So that's one area I think where we have to be focused, because that could impact the share price going forward. Now, coming back to CRISPR, they are working on two new approaches that could help even more people with sickle cell disease and TDT. First up, they have got this targeted conditioning program in the works, which involves using an anti-CD117 antibody drug conjugate, or ADC. And then they are also looking into ways to edit hematopoietic stem cells right inside the body. If they can pull that off, it could mean treating a whole bunch of other diseases besides SCD and TDT, which would be pretty amazing. So the way I look at it is like an arms race when it comes to immune evasion, and Vertex is actually trying to up the game by taking over Alpine and starting to work with them. So it's a question of who succeeds first, whether it's going to be CRISPR Therapeutics or whether it's going to be Vertex. And CRISPR has got two approaches. One is a gentler conditioner, and the other is to do in vivo, so that you don't even potentially encounter the immune issues. So that's the way I look at it. I need to study this a little bit more before I can come back to you with a more definitive statement on that. However, now coming back to CRISPR, in the CRISPR Therapeutics release, I did not find any mention of how many Casgevy patient cells have been collected. And that's a very important piece of information. So I looked up Vertex Q1 release, and Vertex says that it will recognize revenue from Casgevy near the end of the patient journey at infusion. So we won't get the money number right now. But in terms of indication, Vertex says that we should look at the following leading indicators for Casgevy uptake. The first one, it says, is 25 ATCs, including all regions where Casgevy is approved. And ATC stand for the treatment centers where authorized treatment centers where this can be done. So I think this number may need to go up sharply when we look at a global scale. And Vertex disclosed that by mid-April, 5 patients were already put through the cell collection process, indicative of the strength of the product. And I also think that it's indicative of the strength of the Middle East market, which is my particular focus. And Vertex confirms in its report that these 5 patients include those from Middle East. So even if there is one patient from the Middle East, that indicates almost a 20% market share out there or patient share out there. So I think it's very bullish. And Vertex says that the eligible 12 plus sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia population in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Bahrain that Vertex could serve is in excess of 23,000 patients, a potentially larger opportunity than even US. These regions have the infrastructure to administer medicines like Casgevy, given the prevalence of the disease and relatively high volume of allogenic stem cell transplants performed annually. And importantly, we have already secured reimbursement arrangements in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, allowing certain eligible patients to access Casgevy for both sickle cell disease and transfusion-dependent beta thalassemia. So that's what Vertex is telling us. And they're also saying that in addition to having activated ATCs and collected cells from the first patients in the Middle East, they continue to work with local healthcare professionals to increase the number of ATCs and expand patient access in the region. And that's very important because Middle East is a very drawn out area. It's not like you have trains going from here to there. It's all road traffic and air traffic. So add to that the effort to get pediatric dose approved, that can only increase the market size. So at this stage, I must confess that I'm a bit disappointed by the lack of color in the CRISPR Q1 2024 earnings report on the important first product Casgevy. But our digging into Vertex Q1 has given us that information. I've already made a video yesterday about the CRISPR Therapeutics new addition to the pipeline, so I won't waste your time on that. You can go back and look at my video from yesterday if you haven't done so. Suffice to say that liquid nanoparticle or LNP technology improves the value of CRISPR Therapeutics, and the new addition to the pipeline improves the value of CRISPR Therapeutics. So all right, let's now talk numbers, and I'm going to put a graphic on the side which you can keep on referring to. As of March 31, 2024, the cash and cash equivalents and marketable securities totaled a whooping 2,108.1 million. That's quite the increase from 1,695.7 million we had back in December 31, 2023. So CRISPR is getting to be a much better company. And what's behind this boost? Well, it's a mix of things. Proceeds from a direct offering in February 2024 of around 200 million, milestone payment courtesy of Vertex from approval of Casgevy, etc., etc. Some cash from employee option exercises, and let's not forget about the interest income. So of course we had to balance that out against operating expenses. So now on to research and development expenses. In the first quarter of 2024, they clocked in 76.2 million, which is down from 99.9 million in the same period last year. The main reason for this drop was that they managed to cut down a variable external research and manufacturing cost component. Now next up, general and administrative expenses for Q1 2024, where they amounted to $18 million compared to 22.4 million in Q1 2023. And the decrease here seems to be mainly due to lower expenses related to employees and stock-based compensation. Moving on to collaboration expenses, they hit 47 million in Q1 2024, up from 42.2 million in Q1 2023. And basically it seems it's mostly down to ramping up commercial and manufacturing costs. And lastly, let's talk about the bottom line, the net loss. Unfortunately, it widened to 116.6 million for Q1 2024 compared to 53.1 million in Q1 2023. Overall, if I ignore the lack of information about Casgevy in this report, I think CRISPR is as good as ever, and the low stock price is potentially a buying opportunity, assuming rate cuts are around the corner. Friends, as you know, this is my personal opinion and not financial advice. So right now my money is on FNGU, and I will bring it back into CRISPR at the right time. And my target price for buying CRISPR is in the $55 to $60 range. I still think that this is a blue chip in the making and deserves 3-digit pricing soon, assuming no equity dilution. So I'm just going to wind up this video here in the interest of bringing this to you as soon as possible. But I'll make a separate video where I look at the technicals of CRISPR Therapeutics and also talk to you about the market expectations versus what CRISPR actually delivered. So that will be a separate video. So I look forward to hear your comments and I wish that you have a great day in the markets. With that, I'll say bye for now, and I'll catch up with you again in the next video. See you later, folks. Have a nice day.